welcome back. My name's Zoe and this is my January reading wrap up.
It is Zoe here and I am so sorry for the fringe. I can't see myself when I film with my back camera, so sorry.
In January I read 21 books. A few of them are audiobooks done during the day. Still counts. We're not starting that. So normally on my book talk I kind of just do a yes, no, maybe quick fire because time restraints, but I'm actually looking forward to being able to kind of talking about these a bit more in order when I read them, what I thought of them, star ratings, which, spoiler alert, my star ratings mean absolutely nothing and there is no sense to them. I'm sorry. My first book of the month was Daughter of Darkness by Elizabeth and Catherine Core. This is a Greek mythology retelling and I'm always very hit and miss with Greek mythology. I either love the story, it's incredible, or I just don't enjoy it. So this being one that I actually enjoyed, I was very, very happy. It follows Dina. Dina works for the House of Hades, doing things something called soul severing. I cannot talk today. Soul severers are the ones who take the souls from the body and then someone else's job is then to take them across the River of Styx. The soul severers are working to earn time off their sentence. They are stuck serving the House of Hades until they are free. Orpheus comes to the House of Hades with an offer saying, if anyone can go and rescue my wife from the underworld, you will get your freedom. Then follows 4 of them going into the underworld to try and save Orpheus' wife. I really enjoyed this. It was so clever, it was so refreshing to see such a different take on it, but still having the world of Hades in there. My first book of the year, I gave it 3.75 to 4 stars because I just couldn't put it down. I loved it. My second read of the year was A House of Sky and Breath. I'm not going to talk much about it because we know why. I did enjoy the book. That's all I'm going to say on this one. I'm trying to be more mindful of what is in my content. Also, this month I did a reread of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, Ready for Onyx Storm, coming out. I'm illiterate. Subscribe. I did then go on to read Onyx Storm. I DNF'd Onyx Storm. If you'd like to know why, let me know. I can do a video on all of my thoughts. But this is the end of the road for me and Yaros. An Academy of Flyers by Alexis Henderson. I really enjoyed this. I've found that both books that I've read by Alexis have been incredible. If you've not read House of Hunger, go and read it. Loved it. This follows Lennon, whose life is falling apart. She gets a phone call saying that you're going to come for an exam at Drayton College. She gets into the school. It's very much dark academia, magic, betrayal, politics. There's so much involved in this and I really enjoyed it. It was one of those books where I'm having a good time, but I don't understand what's happening. After Academy for Liars, I read The Queen of Gods, which is the second book to Daughter of Darkness. This one wasn't as good as the first one. The Daughter of Darkness ended on a cliffhanger, and this obviously then concludes the story. It was still fun, it was still enjoyable, but it didn't wow me as much as Daughter of Darkness did. I can't tell you the plot to this one, otherwise it spoils Daughter of Darkness. Sorry. Iris Kelly Doesn't Date by Ashley Herring Blake is one that I DNF'd. This was actually my first DNF of 2025. Iris was awful. Everyone felt like they were in the story as a box-ticking exercise. She wasn't interesting. Her self-loathing just, oh no. It wasn't for me, which is a shame because I loved Delilah Green Doesn't Care and Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail. This is the third book in a small town romance series and it was such a letdown, but I promised myself in 2025 if I wasn't enjoying a book, I'm done because I have so much more on my TBR that is going to wow me. I'm not wasting my time. So Tess Sharp, The Girls I've Been and The Girl in Question. This is a duology. It is a LGBTQ thriller. Nora gets stuck in a bank heist. She is going to deliver some money with her current girlfriend and her ex-boyfriend because they've raised some money for charity. There is an armed robbery. She gets stuck in the middle of this. As she was growing up, she was raised by a con artist. So she is now trying to use the skills that she picked up from that to get her and her girlfriend etc. out of that situation. It delves into her past, all the characters that she has had to play by her mother, hence The Girls I've Been. And then this is the follow-on. Again, I can't tell you much about this one because it will ruin the plot of this one, but I loved them. They were so much fun. It's like YA thrillers, amazing. Again, they were about 4 stars. Then I read Tess Sharp's The 6 Times We Almost Kissed and The One Time We Did. This was so much fun. This was literally the slowest of slowest slow burns because you're going back through all the flashbacks of the interactions between the 2 girls. Every time they have almost kissed, all the awkward interactions, the issues they're facing. I loved it. I loved this so much. It was just so much fun. And I would recommend this 100%. I think I gave it 4.25, I think. Overdrive by Isha Patel. This is F1 sports romance. This is the second book. The first one, Off Track, I adored. I loved Off Track with all of my heart. It was just so good as someone that is an F1 fan, having a romance book where it focuses on the actual championship and not just it's a side on to the romance plot. That's what I really liked about this. This one felt a little bit flatter for me. The character wasn't as likeable. It covers some very, very good topics. I'm not sure I can mention it because it might be a spoiler, so I'm trying to be careful. I gave this 3.5 in the end. It didn't live up to my estimations compared to Off Track, but it was still fun. I didn't hate it. Let's put it that way. I didn't hate it. Audiobook, We Used to Live Here by Daniel Hurst. I wish I'd not bothered with this one, to be brutally honest with you. And it's not the writing. The writing was okay. The plot, the thriller plot twist at the end was not as good as it could have been. I just hated the characters. Like, 1 or 2 of them probably were meant to be unlikable, but I just hated everyone in this book. And I can't tell you why. They just rubbed me up the wrong way. The husband cheats. The wife's just needs to get a hobby. I didn't like them. For the premise, which is what you want to know. At the start of the book, the house is being dug up. Well, the back garden is being dug up by forensics. You don't know why. Then it cuts back to the couple moving into the house for the first time. The estate agent starts flirting with the husband. They start having an affair. There is an elderly couple that turn up saying, oh, we used to live here and we want to have a look round again before we pass away. Fair enough. They also let on that they had a son who passed away, unfortunately, when he was younger. From there, it just goes a bit weird. That's all I can say. I think I gave this about 1.75. The premise sounded amazing and it just fell flat. Scythe and Thunderhead. This is probably one of my favourite series that I've picked up so far. It's so imaginative. It's so different to anything else I've read before. The thought into it. Humanity does not have mortality anymore. Everyone has nanites that can heal you. Even if you completely, as they call it, splattered on the pavement, it can heal you. Scythes are there as a way to keep the population in check, under control. They are the only reason that death happens within this world. The population is growing and they need more scythes. There are 2 junior scythes apprentices who come on under Scythe Faraday. At the end, he must pick one to become a scythe, the other one goes back to their normal life, and it's the first book is based on, do they work together, do they work as rivals, what's going to happen. After that, again, I can't tell you much about the other books in the series because it will ruin it. But what I will say is I am currently on book 3, and then I will be reading The Gleanings, which is an add-on. So it is a trilogy, and I've loved it. I've loved these so much so far. It's heavy. Zodiac Academy. I finished book 4 and 5 in the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac series because I was told that it will make this make more sense eventually. So I did that. After about book 2, I wasn't enjoying myself. Again, last year I very much didn't DNF much, so this was a force myself through it. Then we moved on to book 4, Shadow Princess. I DNF'd this. I still have my bookmark in it from where I DNF'd it. I need to take that out. I don't know whether it's I read better books that I had more of a comparison between, but I was really not enjoying myself. I was forcing myself to read it. I do want to know what happens, so I am very much treating this as a chip away at via audiobook when I have nothing else to do, because I want to know what happens, but I don't have the interest or the patience to actually sit and read through it. Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix is probably one of my favourite reads of the month. I loved this book. It follows Fern, who is pregnant at the age of 15. There are these houses that you can send girls to who are pregnant and unwed, where they go, they have the baby, no one knows where they are, they come back like nothing ever happened, they find a family for the baby. It was giving me the Handmaid's Tale vibes at times, which was incredible. I love that series. Fern gets given a book on witchcraft and they use it to try and get their revenge, to get what they want out of the situation. I couldn't stop reading this. I absolutely loved it. I devoured this book. I think I gave it 4.5 in the end. I'm dubious to give anything 5 stars so early in the year, because I base my star rating off comparing, did I like this as much as this book? No. Right, it will be lower, that kind of thing. So I feel like if I start off at 5, which is what happened, and I enjoy a book more, is that still a 5? Does it go down to 4.5? So at the moment this is 4.5, but I would fully recommend this if you like horror. There are some very dark topics and there is some very, very uncomfortable scenes to read in this, but I loved it. Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. I really enjoyed this. At first I thought this was 5 star, and then the more I thought about it, I would say 4 to 4.5. It is Bletchley Park. Dragons have secret languages. Someone's trying to figure them out. There is class divides, political movements, rebellions. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. It is YA, it is quite a slow build up, but the ending, I cannot wait for the next book. The Crash by Frida McFadden. Frida, for me, is palette cleansing books. I don't go into them expecting literary masterpieces. I expect a fun time, a decent-ish plot twist, and that's pretty much it. They are like the books I will read in between if I'm reading quite serious books, non-fiction books, really big, heavy world-building books. And that's what this was. So Tegan is pregnant, 8 months pregnant, and she gets into a car crash in a blizzard going to visit her brother. She is then rescued by a couple who offer her a room somewhere to stay until the blizzard dies down and they can get her some help. But intentions aren't all that they appear. And it was fun. It reminded me of another book by a bigger thriller / horror author. You can try and figure that one out for yourselves. But 3 star for what I expected, I got. Late Bloomer by Maisie Eddings. So this is a sapphic romance. Opal wins the lottery, goes to buy a farm. The daughter of the person that sold the farm to her still lives there, says, actually no, you can't live here, it's mine, and it's kind of like a love-hate relationship that goes on. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. Again, it was probably a 3.5 to 4 push. I wasn't expecting mind-blowing moments. It was still fun, and that's what part of it for reading is for me, just fun. If Cats Disappeared from the World by Genki Karamura. This really threw me. I didn't expect to enjoy this as much as I did. So it's a gentleman who's found out he has stage 4 cancer and is told that he's going to die very, very soon. The devil appears and says to him that for every item that we make disappear from the world, you gain 1 extra day of life. And it kind of tackles overconsumption, how we're always interested in creating new things rather than either being happy with what we have or this sort of thing. And it was really, for 200 pages, it definitely made me think a lot. And that's kind of what I want, especially from like the Japanese literature. I always feel like there's a very strong hidden under message that comes through in such a beautiful and creative way. I do have more on my shelf that I'm excited to read, and this is definitely a genre I'm exploring more this year. And that's it. I have 2 more DNFs this month that honestly I don't even want to waste my breath on them. One of them was my own fault, so we're not going to go there. I got through 90% of A Day of Fallen Night and about 30% of The Toll. So I have 2 books that I will be taking over into February with me. If you like my face, like and subscribe. Bye!